Hello, welcome to this update. Let's quickly talk about this typhoon bebinca that will make landfall tonight in China. So it's now a typhoon there, close to 140 kilometer per hour sustained winds, and it's forecast to make landfall in China around early morning there, because it will be like night in US time and European time, so it will be like late night, early morning in China there. So let's see. As a as a weak typhoon, relatively strong, like 140 to 150 kilometer per hour sustained winds. As you can see, it kind of strengthens to 150 kilometer per hour sustained winds right before landfall, and now it's forecast to go right over Shanghai there, and some others like Suzhou. Those are some very high population areas, so please be careful there. When this crosses, you can see all the heavy rain there might cause a lot of flooding, some urban and flash flooding there, and some wind problems and stuff. So please stay safe there. Let's see what it shows here. So this is the European. It shows it approaching there, very strong. This is like the wind, not the wind gusts, just the wind shows like coming in towards Shanghai, and the eye passing just south of Shanghai, the low pressure center. So let's see some wind gusts. So each model might have a different, but for example, in this coastal islands there, so like more than 116 kilometer per hour gusts occasionally, and then it increases towards like 158 kilometer per hour gusts. In Shanghai, close to 125 kilometer per hour gusts possible. So this might cause damage there, like some wind damage, power outages and everything, so be careful. And then it keeps going there. Some other cities there like 136 kilometer per hour gusts, 149, so please be careful there. The GFS has a little bit less gusts, but also has like close to 100 kilometer per hour gusts. Right when this makes landfall, it has like stronger in some areas, close to 131 kilometer per hour gusts. So be aware. And some islands there, close to 125 kilometer per hour gusts. So please be careful there. Then as it moves inland, it still has some very gusty winds as it dissipates there, and then eventually it dissipates by like Tuesday. So please be careful there. Let's see. The icon has this very strong. I don't think it will be this strength. The icon is kind of exaggerating, but it shows like let's see some 88 knot gusts, close to 163 kilometer per hour. This is too strong, I think, but it has like in Shanghai close to 144 kilometer per hour gusts, 131 kilometer per hour gusts. So this might cause a lot of damage there. Be careful. But the most realistic scenario is the European, I think, around some 133 kilometer per hour gusts in those areas. So please stay safe. And the rainfall, let's see, just in the next 2 days shows shows in Shanghai like some 73 millimeters, others 77 millimeters, some coastal islands there close to 100 millimeters, 85 millimeters. So please be careful there. Let's see, some sea is close to 133 millimeters, like Huzhou, 134 millimeters. So there will be flooding there from this. Please be careful. 75 millimeters, and this just in the next 2 days as it makes landfall. The GFS has a more like straight path of 146, 172 millimeters, so showing more here like 118 millimeters in Shanghai. So please be aware, this rain will cause some flooding. The icon has similar amounts, close to 144 millimeters, 172 millimeters, so please be careful. And also, the wind and everything might cause some coastal flooding, especially in these islands there, so a lot of storm surge there, and even near Shanghai might be some storm surge, some higher surf, so be careful with some coastal flooding as well, and storms. So let's see here, these next 2 days, now in the next 5 days, this shows a similar thing as this continues to dissipate, close to 100 millimeters further north into China as this dissipates. But let's see, the Europeans picking up a second surge of moisture there near China around September 20th, close to 240 millimeters yet again in some areas there. But it's just the European, the GFS isn't showing anything, it's only showing the typhoon there. And the icon has all the rain from the typhoon, and it's also showing the other surge there. So we'll keep watching this. So please stay safe there, and let's see. So be careful, and let's see maybe some models, because you'll be generally that strength, like the GFS is making landfall as a 971 typhoon, like category 1 almost to category 2, but generally a category 1 typhoon. And the European has like, it goes there, makes landfall as a 981, like just a category 1. And let's see, there's some hurricane models have a 976 category 1 making landfall. Most models have it just south of Shanghai there in those areas. So for example, this other model has it there, going there just south of Shanghai around the bay there, with very strong winds, heavy rain, and even those storms around it might have some water spouts and tornadoes too. So be careful with water spouts, tornadoes, and like strong storms. So stay safe there. And let's see here. So in other areas, we still have that big moisture surge around Guam and the Pacific, especially in the Philippines there. Next 5 days still showing like 133 millimeters around the western Philippines. South China Sea, more than 100 millimeters, a lot of storms there, especially in Cambodia, the coast of Cambodia, southern Thailand, like more than 200 millimeters there, so be careful. And through central Cambodia, more than 160 millimeters, so might be a lot of heavy storms there in Cambodia, southern Vietnam too, and Thailand, so be careful. The European has also this moisture surge around Hainan there, close to 400 millimeters next 5 days, but that's an isolated scenario, it might change. And it shows there southern Thailand around the Bay of Bengal, close to 288 millimeters, northern Sumatra more than 200 millimeters as well, so a lot of moisture and heavy storms around the southern Bay of Bengal this week, so be careful. It has some more moisture on the Maldives, might be more showers and storms too, and still that very heavy rain in India there because of the low pressure system, so be careful, still some very heavy storms in India there. So as you can see here, it shows now that low pressure in northeastern India, Bangladesh, with a lot of heavy storms, and it continues through India there through Monday, tomorrow, some very heavy storms, maybe some strong downpours with flooding in many spots, especially around Tuesday, some very heavy downpours. This keeps going, passes like through New Delhi by Wednesday, and then dissipates. So please be careful, those downpours might be dangerous. So let's see here. The GFS is a similar thing, but not as much as the European, but also has that trail of heavy downpours through there. It has a lot in southern Vietnam and Cambodia too, on the western Philippines, all the central Philippines actually, more than 150 millimeters in all the central Philippines and the South China Sea. So please be careful. The GFS is very crazy out there in the middle of the Pacific, and around Guam is like 200 millimeters around Guam there. Even Palau close to 664 millimeters. So some more storms there in the northern Philippines as well. So please be careful there. Also has a lot in the Nicobar Islands, around Sumatra there, in southern Thailand, not the Ben Islands. So be aware. Northern Indonesia might have some more showers and storms, Malaysia especially. So be careful. And the icon has similar thing, a lot in the Indian Ocean there, also around the Maldives. So, and it has like a lot next 5 days towards like Hong Kong, southern China, and the northern Philippines as well. So please stay safe there. Western Philippines will still get those floods and heavy downpours, so be careful, and still some heavy rain around Guam and those areas, so stay safe there. And especially like, let's see, in Japan we have those fronts more than 150 millimeters around some areas of northwestern Japan. Let's see more throughout Japan there, 17 millimeters, 44 millimeters, but especially in the north there, so be aware in Japan. And then we have more moisture surges towards the islands in southern Japan there later, as you can see here. Let's see, as you can see on the model here, we have all that moisture and heavy rain in Guam there, and then it will go north, and the European actually has like a tropical storm again passing the southern islands of Japan, and another low pressure system crossing the northern Philippines like by the 17th, going to the South China Sea. Then it has that moisture surge in Hainan I showed you, and then forming to a storm going towards northern Vietnam once again. And then it has those systems crossing Japan, those big fronts there. Then it has yet again another tropical storm spinning near Shanghai there. So these are like some crazy scenarios, because all of these areas got like recently hit by tropical cyclones. It might happen again. So let's see. Now the GFS shows the moisture there in Guam and the Pacific. It surges north towards the southern islands of Japan by early next week, especially Wednesday, some more storms there. Then it gets the outer low pressure, kind of crosses the Philippines, goes into the South China Sea and heads towards central Vietnam. And then it takes the outer low pressure in the Pacific, goes towards Taiwan, but then curves north towards China. Then it has that big system going through the southern islands of Japan, not tropical but a big front. Then it takes into the East Sea of Japan and turns into a big system there, non-tropical system in Japan by the 25th. And then it has some other cyclones trying to spin around the South China Sea by the last days of September. But this is just one model run in many scenarios, so nothing's certain yet. The Canadian model has the moisture coming north from Guam, affecting the southernmost islands of Japan there, maybe Okinawa, Amami, some other areas. And then it has the other low pressure near the Philippines, but it takes it north towards Japan. It has some very big storms towards Japan there and South Korea by the 19th. Then it has the big front crossing Japan by the 20th. And then still a lot of moisture in the northern Philippines, South China Sea, and it tries to spin up some systems near the South China Sea there in some areas. So please be aware there. Nothing's certain yet, but we better watch around China, Vietnam, Taiwan, and Japan there for potential systems in the near future. But now, let's just focus on the heavy rainfall that will affect the Philippines, parts of Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, northern Indonesia, and possibly southern China there, some areas are close to 100 millimeters. And especially as this low pressure crosses the northern Philippines, there will be more than 150 millimeters in a big area of the northern Philippines. So be aware. Might be more floods there, and the very dangerous rainfall in the western Philippines in the South China Sea. So be careful there. Later on around Japan as well, might have those storms I showed you on the model, and even South Korea next 5 days showing a lot. So be careful there. In India too, because of that system there, might have some more storms around Nepal, Bhutan, just general rain and storms there, like thunderstorms and rain. In Bangladesh and Myanmar too, might be heavier in Myanmar, in some areas, especially like southern Myanmar, along the Bay of Bengal. But just be careful, some more occasional heavy showers in Myanmar and in Bangladesh too. So be aware, and in other areas, it still shows like a moisture surge around the Seychelles, of like 90 to 100 millimeters next 5 days in the Seychelles, and some areas in the central Indian Ocean there too. So be aware. Southwestern Sri Lanka might get some more showers and some storms in western southern India. So this mainly it. Please stay safe there from the heavy rain in the Philippines, in Southeast Asia, in those areas. And let's see, expect more storms in Thailand, around Laos, a little bit less in Laos, but some more there too, especially Cambodia and Vietnam. So as you can see here on the model, shows all those heavier storms to Thailand, Cambodia, in Vietnam, and then later in 2 Mondays some more storms there. So please be aware in those areas. And in terms of invests, we have invested 97W there near Guam because of all the moisture, but we also have some other areas to watch. Let's see here. So we have the invest near the Philippines, that low pressure there, the one in Guam, and actually another one further out into the Pacific, and the low pressure system in India there with all the heavy storms. So be careful there, and stay safe. Let's see just some wind gusts, because it's still very gusty around India and Bangladesh with that system there. So I expect more gusty winds to continue as this system traverses northern India, and then still in the Bay of Bengal and South China Sea, some very gusty winds because of that trail of moisture and strong flow. So be aware there. Near the Philippines as well, eventually with that low pressure near the South China Sea, we might have stronger winds, and in the islands there, the Bay of Bengal. And this surge of moisture coming from Guam there, now it shows like some very strong winds in Guam and the northern Mariana Islands. Then these winds go north with a very strong system, maybe not tropical because it doesn't look organized, but it might become something tropical. Shows like some very strong winds near Japan by Wednesday, eventually towards China once again. But this is just one model, we don't know yet. So this mainly it. Stay safe.